I became an artist. I realized when I was about 5 years old at school at Keta, that's kindergarten. I was 5 years old. We were in the last class, and the teacher gave us black clay from the lagoon, and I made fish. And she liked it so much that she put it in the what do you call it? It made a sand pit, and where the artwork we made I put in at the wall in the classroom. Then my experience at university was very good because when I went to university, there I saw Kofi Dawson. He had been teaching me art at secondary school, Maori school. Then in the final year, we didn't see him again, not knowing that he has left Maori school to continue his education at Tech. So when I went there and I saw him, I was surprised that he was teaching me Maori school. Now he's also a student at Tech. At Kumasi, at that time, we were only using hardboard to paint on. So when I went to the Slade School, I would look for the hardboard to paint on. So then gradually, to paint on canvas, at the Slade School, they have a room where there was an officer there who teaches how to prepare canvas for painting. So every student goes to that room to learn how to prepare canvas. And then how to size, and how to prime, and how to stretch. So I learned it there. Even in priming the canvas, there's some chemicals called toluene, where you put in the paint to make it flow freely when we are priming. After the scholarship, you should work for a government service 5 years. So I applied to work at civil service. I went to the civil service office, and the commissioner there fixed me at the information service department because there was a small art unit at the information service department which ran exhibition. Professor Glover was there, and Sakakwe. They established that company. That's the information under Jimmy Mox. Whenever I get up in the morning, I want to produce. My mind is on production. I'm looking at my scene to see what I can turn into art. Since my childhood experience of comic strips, of comic heroes in comic books like Kit Carson, Bob Jones, I knew that there is a world of art. Moreover, also, my father was an architect. He also drawing. When he was young, he was also drawing. Some of the works he did for my sister when we were going to school has been preserved. You know, my sister got 100 for that work. The father did for her to be at school for art class. So we all know that conscious that we are an art, drawing, skillful family. So we just draw, but we didn't know there was nothing. And then whenever some Europeans come to visit my father to talk about architecture and plans, I will go in and show my sketchbook to the person on the road while he's going. And when you see the drawing, you tip me some coins or something. Now I feel like I've achieved something. So I kept doing this art without knowing anything, just doing it. You know, I didn't know any art world or anything. But we used to hear of a person like Kofi Antubam, who was very good. In our childhood, all we knew was Kofi Antubam, who was in the arts. Yeah, I think I was having a discussion with Kofi Dawson one time, and but I was working in the information service. He was saying that you have to know current expenses, how much you spend every day. So that means that you have to produce an artwork that will cover the expenses on daily basis. So we're just producing and churning out, knowing that one day, you don't know which work will be sold. One day, one will be sold. To use you to keep you going. That's one of the drives that happened. When I was coming here, Professor G ran me and said, what have I been doing? He said, for the past 3 months, I couldn't paint, so I tried hard. He said, is it rotten bones? I said, no, it's something else. So we have that drive that we should do something every day in the arts, because that is your future. The day you don't do anything, then you lose revenue. To draw figures is a motivator. Because if you can't draw figures, you feel like you don't know art, you see. So that misconception has stayed on. Even when we were at Slade School, there were some people who used to run evening classes for drawing. So we ran and go there and learn to draw. So I remember Sir Coldstream was asking me a question, what is drawing? So I was thinking just drawing is a figure sitting, posing for you, and you draw the person to look like the person. So that's why you see so many drawings. It has stuck, but now it's different. You don't have to draw, you can bring forms and shapes and color together to create things, which is a step forward to the ability just to draw like Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo. You are motivated because you want to change the style. If you change the style, then that means you carry it to a logical conclusion. So that's another step in helping you to produce. When you produce, somebody came and saw me and saw the plenty of work I've done. I'm not saying so. They call it in a term pile up. You are piling up. But also that's pile up. You see. So you have to do pile up too, because there are no museums or galleries and things like that. So you become your own, like snail. Snail shall carry its own house, or crab carry its own house, it carries its own gallery along. But the point is, after some time, you find that you have no space. You lack space. You have to sell your work to make money, to buy building material, land. But you are not selling yours, you are stuck. Somebody wants you to do his portrait. Somebody even wants to make a portrait of his horse. And then when you tackle these commissions, then you are working. But if there's no commission, nothing, then you take your old sketchbooks and see what you can do them by. They call it the source. The source is, you see some nice photograph in the photo information service, photo archives. Then it's mostly on cultural picture like dancing or depot or some beautiful, and then you like to paint it, like dancing. Then you work on it and compose it. So we call it the source, because the picture you are using, you are not the only person in the world. Somebody else will see it and use it. So you find that before you are aware, you are both doing the same thing. So you are from the same source. So the best is you have your own camera, your own thing, make your own sketches so that nobody else can be able to pounce into that image. So it's also if you make a painting and you sell it, you know that it's selling. So you repeat it from your sketch or tracing book. You do the same because you know it's selling. When you call it gen, you hit at the same spot. But we didn't know that all these things is disqualifying you from being original. Also, there was the story of the late Kofi Dawson exhibiting in Europe, London, then to Germany and places. But so it was from Ghana, Gold Coast at that time. So all the collectors went down and bought the paintings. This Gold Coast man painting. Hey, so all the great people bought the painting. Then when they got home, they saw that what they bought in London is the same thing they bought in Germany, but the same teams. So they sent their experts to Ghana to see what kind of art we are doing. You see, everybody is just repeating himself or not. Then somebody went to the museum and saw Amankote's work. Then they traced Amankote, went to his house, then told him that, Mr. Amankote, we like the painting in the museum. Can you make the same thing for us, only that one? Amankote said, no, I can't make it for you. If you want a different thing, I can do it for you. But I can't repeat the same thing to you. And so he said, oh, that's why I was sent from Europe to come and see whether the Ghanaian artists, they do the same thing, copy. That because Antiban came there, the things he showed in London, then he went to show it the same. They came to check out our practice. So if you are doing some work and you are doing a reproduction of it, you yourself, you know that you are doing it, you see. So you can justify it. But if you have got the courage, you can not do it. I believe I can do six of the same theme. Then you get tired of it, then you stop. I look at magazine, art books and things at college, and you like to look at books on art, but they are not original things. We will go to Kingsway where they will sell prints of original paintings, postcards, and you buy them and just admire, and books on art in color. But then I like Nicolas Poussin, the French artist's work. Now, the way he composes things and his figurative things used to attract me a lot. So I wanted to work like that, to compose things like that. In the art world, it's only in Europe that when you are drawing electric bulb, all your paintings should be electric bulb. So you are known for electric bulb man. Like in Ghana, Atu Delaki is noted for the frame tree, flamboyant tree. So no other artist goes to that area, we abandon it for him because he's an expert in flamboyant trees. So after you try some style for a long time, you step ahead and do something else. If you don't do something else, nobody will buy that same painting again. But if you try something, the same buyer will like the new thing you have made. So you must diversify your style. The golden calf. I was told that each sister painting by the same artist in Australia. That is the crossing of the Red Sea by the same artist. But unfortunately, I've not Googled to find out how that picture looks like. But I will do so. This Poussin thing I wish I admired before. I actually studied his drawings at the Victoria and Albert Museum, the other works of the artist. I will try to work like that again, recompose myself in that beautiful composition. It's also like Antuban. Antu also like to compose. If you've seen his mural at the Give and Pick Hotel, which young artists are reproduced, you see that you have to get composition, idea from here and there and blend it together, like to tell a story. That's what we call Afro-journal. You should be a journalist with your art and tell story. There is metal work, that's gold, silver smithing. Then you have sculpture work, then that's wood carving and things like that. Then you have painting and watercolor and drawing and printmaking. So there are different departments of art. One is like that, collage. So if you are painting and drawing all the time, you feel that you should need change. You should do something else to break the monotony. So you start from painting and go into sculpture. And if you like to, you go to graphic art and design a poster on some of the ideas you have. Some concepts, instead of painting the regular way, you say you just make a poster. You've got to express the same thing. So the artist has to diversify his style. So when you see material, which is industrial waste, though the thing is industrial waste, money was used to produce it. So its value is still hidden there economically. So we just use it like this time is paint. Instead of paint, you are imagining this thing to be paint and you use it to squeeze out some beauty out of it for your own pleasure. If somebody else insists, that's all. Because as an artist, to make ends meet, you have to be productive. Never sleep. And this is just additional way. So I've used plastic bottles, which are cut into shape. And I use cocoa leaves, which are picked from the ground, and glue them to the plastic to disguise it like rubber. See? So make it interesting. So that's how I arrived at this one. These things were industrial waste discarded by the press, printing press behind me. They used it to bring newsprint, to protect newsprint from Europe. So after they take the newsprint and print the paper, they don't know what to do with this waste material made of plastic. So they take it and go and put it in a big truck and go and burn it. So when they were, the owner, the one who did that, so I was interested. So he brought plenty to me. And there are so many that working on it, you need funding to buy other artists to add to it. It became time consuming. I had to go to tailoring shop, collect the off-course of material and glue them on it. Yeah, when Jacob was leaving Laban to come down at the cover of darkness, his son was Joseph, who was about 1 year old. So the father-in-law got about 300 strong people chasing them on horseback to go and catch them and take their children, his daughters and things, but because Jacob left without asking permission. So when they got there, God told them, I called Jacob to leave, so don't do anything. So what happened was they signed a pact that they will not attack, the family member will not attack the other family. So they made a pillar to mark the peace treaty they have signed. And this is the pillar we made. Imagine this to be rocks. Everybody went and picked some rocks from the ground and they used it to make this. Before that time too, Jacob himself had slept on a pillar called pillar stone when he was 40 years old, was leaving home. The stone, he used it to lie on. So the idea of using stone to construct, we call it megaliths, was in his also subconscious. So he and his father-in-law construct this megalith as a post for peace. And the name they called it was Gilead. Another name was Mizpah. The third name was Jaga Sahaduta. So the whole pyramid thing have a name. So 3 names. So Jaga, the Jaga name means that if you say Jigga, that's what it is, Jigga. I mean, if I come and offend you, that's my Jigga, and you heard that, oh, this man is annoying me, and you are chasing him to fight him for provoking you. When you reach this pillar, don't go beyond. You see that? You see what I mean? If you heard that this man is provoking you, don't cross this pillar. If you heard that this man is provoking you, don't cross. When you reach the pillar, your army should stop. Don't move a step. That's because we call it jigger. Now the other Mizpah means gather rocks. Gather, bring, heap up rocks. That's the meaning of Mizpah. And then Galid is that if you come and the rock there was an earthquake and the rock has fallen down, it's no longer in the shape of a pillar. It's your duty to raise it up again. You don't go and report that, oh, this pillar, but you start peeling the stones again. That's called Galid. Maybe say Galidi, make it back. So when Joseph was in Egypt, that was 30 years after they had built the pillar. He was forced in the same situation to create peace. There was hunger. The people are going wild. Nobody should attack each other for food. Because otherwise people will rush somebody. You know, they say you are rich, they'll rush to your house and take your food. So he built the same pillar in Egypt. They call it step pyramid. It was this pillar. And you know, Jacob, too, when he was dreaming, he saw a pillar like that, and angels were climbing the stairs up and down, up and down. So Joseph was a favorite son of Jacob, and he must have told him the story by the time he was 17. So when he was in Egypt, he was commissioned by the Pharaoh to build a monument that would bring peace. He remembered his childhood image and built the 7-step pyramid. I haven't called it 7 steps, but whenever you count in the pictures, it looks like 6 steps. The pyramid is an Hebrew word, meaning Ekpiyamiru, the stones that we raised, that man raised. So that's why I think you were asking me, which is my favorite painting. It's not a painting, it's this installation. But I realized it when Dr. Akoi-Jackson mentioned it at the meeting we had. He mentioned it. I wasn't thinking he would talk about it. But when I saw these things, I said, who raised this pyramid? It always in my mind. If I didn't know that it was even a pyramid, I was just thinking to save space, they packed this installation here. Not knowing actually is the theme of the whole exhibition we have had here, the pyramid. And look at this building too, it's a pyramid. You know, so I'm very grateful. This my favorite work there. And this is an old work I did of my father. We used to be, you know, so it's very old. That I think I must have done it before I went to Tech. So it's an older painting. It's showing age. You know, when a painting in Africa is about 40 years old, it becomes saponify, spoil. That this is a picture of going with that. This is the same dream where Jacob was dreaming on the stone pillar. And then the ladder where the angels were going up and down is now the pyramid, which later on developed into pyramid. Jacob was in Egypt when the second pyramid was built. At that time, he has moved to the place. That one is no longer step, but fine, smooth, tall, because the tradition had been set by his son Joseph. So he was there when the actual pyramid was built. Mr. Vosjogbe used to work at information service. He was a sculptor, and he was sent to Tech. And then when he came back, I was working with him at information services, and he told me that when a brush is worn out, you cut the ferrule, you use penknife to reduce the length of the ferrule so that the extra brush comes out, so you use it. And then he will go in for animal skin, goat skin from abattoir to make his own brushes. So in that time, at the time of the drought in Ghana, where things became very difficult, economic meltdown, you can't find any art brush to paint with in town. So we resort to making our own brushes, until more brushes started coming. So the artists stopped making brushes. But I continued thinking of the problem. And I arrived at this one using local material to produce temporary brushes. Because immediately you need about 10 of them to do one painting, because they wear out very fast. One is made of bamboo, the one is made of cane, rattan cane. The rattan cane brush can only handle watercolor, water-based paint. Merely you put it in oil, it will curl. It will reject, it will curl. But bamboo-based brush can take both oil and water. I was making the ants. So when we went to Sirigu workshop, this is where I tried to paint with the theme of ants. This one is also like collage, when I'm using beads and nets, to create interest in the work. Not just to be using other material like collage to help to make the work different. And this one was, I was going to Ghanaian Times near the Awudome Cemetery, where at the junction you see this challenged woman with a child crawling on the street. And as I said, I saw it in my mind. So when I got home in the studio, I recreated the scenario on canvas. That's another way of working. Well, you can't, if you have camera, it's okay. But some of the scenes you see, you must quickly, when you get to your studio, put it down in paper or sketch form. Otherwise, after 3 or 4 days, the scene that you have seen vividly will recede. You can't recall it again. So this is another way of sustaining production. You can even get up in the morning to evening, just walk in the town and look at all the interesting things, then come back home and reconstruct them. That is a painting, like this one. It's a way of working, but since I was alone, I'm not competing with Nigeria or Senegal or America or Britain. I start something, then I read some painting, I stop. And this during my experience in art school, you see, I used to visit the house of where my wife and grandchildren are living. I will leave Nima and go to visit them. And I'll be sitting in the trotro, you see. So when I'm sitting in the trotro, I used to pretend that I'm in an art studio. And I'll look at the way, the gestures of the people who are sharing the same trotro with me. Immediately I get to where my wife and grandchildren and daughter stay. I already have this sheet of paper in my pocket. They call it offcuts. I don't use sketchbooks, but I use offcuts to draw with. So I would just do the drawings and with ball pen, then ink it. So I made these 4, and I made more, and we enlarged them. So the trotro on which I'm sitting is converted to be a studio, like an art classroom. And the people who are sitting are models for me. So I watch them, how they carry the baby and go down, then the hairstyle they are doing, and all sorts of things. See, when I'm in trotro, I take them to be models, posing for me. So it's a very good source of creativity, which I'm going to use vigorously. What to do is you use rubber band and tie the pencil on your finger so that you don't have to be picking and drawing. So you are holding the sketch pad or something, and then maybe you bring it, the pencil is already, then you are drawing. Sometimes when you are drawing, somebody will watch you, they will come to you, hey, I see what you are doing. You are acting that girl. Then they will try to catch you, hey, this man is acting you. And there is a bad, they have to run away and leave the place. So that is, this practice from art school is called quick sketch. If you do that a lot, then you'll be able to go to town, you see a lot of things, then you come and do quick sketch. And when you are making these small sketches, you have to be aware of composition, how to make the thing presentable, to bring other aspects like textile, sculpture, graphics. You combine all those to make a good soup. The painting should be like a good soup, not only fufu. Fufu must be eaten with soup. You can't eat fufu alone. So, like the pencil drawing alone is the fufu. So you must add color and other things to make it palatable, salt and pepper. So when you are doing artwork composition, you must think of how to make it exciting. That's why the composition of the woman who is kind of setting her handbag from the letter E, the figure E. So immediately I put an E there, turn the other way around, you see. And then the other one, the girl sitting down with feeding the baby, the F is called food. That you say F for food, or fufu, or fire for cooking. So I included that just to balance the painting. You don't have to go all the way drawing other, maybe the driver of the trotro where they are captured inside, or the landscape, the city in which the trotro is passing, the pawpaw tree you see lining the road, or the open gutter. You could put all these things to make the painting lively, or somebody outside, they're selling ice cream. So you are in a rush to finish the painting, and you bring all sorts of ideas that to make it exciting and novel. That's why we see the painting there with letters turned upside down in it. For the past 3 months, I've been concerned with my health. Dr. Salama II of Nima Hospital told me that I should not do any work. I should always relax. That I've worked, my heart has helped me for 40 years. So if I insist to work like I was working when I was 18 years old, my heart will say, you can't help me. It's tired, it's giving up. So I must be very careful not to stress myself, to have high blood pressure. So I eat a lot of bitter leaf and relax a lot. So that for the past 3 months, the only thing I've been able to do is to do some writings and small sketches in the writing, which I wish to explode and develop. So I have enough work to do, but to do it is a problem. So Wiz and Kofi will be able to support me when I go back to it, so that I can do. They are younger than me, so they will help me. All the young artists I call to come and sit in the studio, they are not. I don't see them, and if they come, they have to be paid. So, and they have to pay their time before they come and stay and be fed. So there is a problem. So, big one. But I have a very ambitious idea in my mind what is going to happen next time with my art. So I'm going to work towards it seriously. I hope I'll hold an exhibition somewhere. I aimed at it. So I'm working towards it. Though I find it very difficult at by age, just because of lethargy in old age and lack of muscle mass. So I'm trying to do at least about 14 new large-scale works. I've got the ideas already, and I'm late. Many days. I'm supposed to write a summary of a paper for the Akasa triennial, which is coming on Chicago. So, but the work on which I wanted to present the paper shall be done. I've done silkscreen shoot-ups on it already, but only I've not printed them. So when I go back, I'll be printing those things. And as for the Akasa Biennale, if I'm not able to go to present a paper, there will be other ones. So now I'm concentrating on myself. And also I've not sent any work to the art shops at the Omanye House, which used to collect my works. So I will work hard and build a portfolio and regain my wall space there. So, and also the way I used to draw, you have to get up in the morning with your sketch pad, 15 cm by 15 pm, unobstructed, then you go around on your feet, then you sit down and draw, paint. I've not been doing that practice. Normally you get up, you go out and look for the art. The art is hidden in the environment. You have to go and search for it. If you sit in your room, in your house alone, then you have to use things in your room, like the plants, like the ants, which came to me in the room. You have to think of that. But normally, you have to get out and look for the art.